So, tapos na yung lecture ng prof mo. Nahingi mo rin yung slides ng mga kaklase mong nag-report. The next question is, what should you do with those slides? How can you maximize learning when you have the actual PowerPoint presentation used in the lecture? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hi there, thank you for checking out my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. If this is the first video that you're watching from my channel, I make educational and motivational content. So if you don't want to miss any of my new uploads, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that bell icon. Now, this video right here is special kasi it's part of our study hacks series. I feel the need to make this video kasi ang daming mga students who are asking me for tips kung meron naman daw slides na binibigay yung mga professors nila. Now, why did I choose na pag-usapan natin yung pag-interact sa mga slides or sa presentations ng inyong professor? I would say this, no? I think it's creating a false sense of security sa maraming estudyante kapag meron na silang kopya ng lecture ng kanilang mga professors. Anong ibig sabihin ko doon? Hindi na sila nagno-notes. Okay? Yung iba hindi na nagno-notes ng sarili nila, hindi na sila nag-interact with the material. Yung iba, hindi na rin nakikinig habang nagle-lecture yung professor. Kasi ang idea nila is, ako, kunin ko na lang yung slides mamaya. Pag nasa akin na yung slides, okay na yon. Now, that can work for some of the subjects, but especially if the subject is very important. For example, yung tatakal natin ngayon is in abnormal psychology. It's a board subject for psych majors. Ang mangyayari usually is, makuha mo yung slides, tapos, again, with the idea na hindi ko na siya kailangan na basahin, hindi ko siya kailangan na tandaan, kasi nandito na sa akin yung slides, I have everything I need. Pagdating ng exam at binalikan mo yung slides na yon, biglang gibberish siya, biglang walang cohesive na outline, biglang walang flow, biglang ano nga ba yung sinabi dito sa part na to? Yun yung gusto nating iwasan. Kaya I really encourage you to do this exercise as soon as possible. Kung kunyari ngayon yung lecture, tonight, okay, when you get the time, gawin nyo na siya agad. Now, before I demonstrate what you should do, let me just thank Foxit PDF Mobile Reader app for sponsoring this video. Sila rin yung gagamitin natin dito sa demonstration na ito. And they actually are offering you a free 1-year license code to use yung kanilang app na ito, which is available in both iOS and Android for free. Okay, so if you are looking for the license code, that would be flashing right here on the screen, and it will also be in the description box below with more information. Okay, now again, it's very important for you to interact with the material. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send a PowerPoint file, okay, doon sa aking tablet, and I will demonstrate kung paano nyo magagamit yung app to take your own notes. Okay? Now, this file right here is a really old PowerPoint presentation that I used when I was still teaching yung abnormal psychology sa Messiah College. Now, normally, ang ginagawa ko ay I would save each slide sa JPEG, and then yung JPEG na yon or yung picture file na yon, i-resize ko siya, tapos ipe-paste ko pa siya sa isang document, tapos doon ko siya isusulatan or doon ako maglalagay ng mga sarili kong notes sa sarili kong mga text boxes. Pero the beautiful thing about technology these days, specifically yung Foxit PDF Reader na app, is that you can do all of those right here in the app itself. So again, binuksan ko, PPTX file siya or PowerPoint file siya. Pero all I have to do is to tap on the button dito sa taas to convert it into a PDF file. Now, the first thing to note is the title of the lecture or yung presentation. Bakit? Kasi yun yung pinaka magiging head ng outline that we're planning to make. Yun kasi ang goal natin. Ang first goal natin is this: we have to be able to build an outline out of the PowerPoint presentation. Now, why is it important na meron tayong outline? Kasi this will help us remember the things na malamang ay lalabas sa inyong exam, at of course, malamang magagamit nyo rin sa totoong buhay, lalo na if you're studying a topic that would carry over sa inyong further education. For example, this is a lecture on abnormal psychology. If you are studying psychology, this is very important kasi board subject yung abnormal psychology. And again, we want to form that outline para kahit after graduation, pwede kong balik-balikan yung notes ko and I would still be able to understand this. Now, this app right here offers a lot of tools. Yung isa doon is when you get to change the text or mark it, pwedeng using the text box or using a pen tool. For example, kung gusto kong i-emphasize yung fact na essential siya, pwede akong gumamit ng red na ink, kakapalan ko, and then I would just encircle it using the pen tool. Now, some professors would actually explain the outline ng pag-uusapan dun sa lecture, or magpo-post sila ng mga questions that they will try to answer doon sa lecture. The first slide is a great way to indicate yung mga guide questions na yon. For example, sa case ng Abnormal Psychology Essentials, what I usually would start off with would be, how can we define what abnormality is? What does it really mean? Ano yung mga misconceptions about abnormality? Now again, interacting with the material, I can just use a text box right here. And then, I can start typing yung mga questions na yon. So, pwede kong ilagay, what is abnormal? Okay? Or what counts as abnormal? Okay? Something like that. Again, demonstration lang naman ito, so I won't go into lengths. Again, another option right here sa app is, if medyo nababagalan kayo dun sa text box tapos magta-type, you can actually use the pen tool na lang ulit, okay, to write things down. So, I'll just use black ink, a smaller brush, and then I'll start writing. So, what makes the behavior, and then I'll use my arrows to point there. Okay? Ano yung mga myths about being abnormal? Okay? What is the truth or true meaning? Ayan. So again, this is me interacting with the text. So now, my mind is being primed that is one of the goals for this lecture. Okay? So again, just keep interacting with the slides. Nakalagay dito, naka-enumerate yung some of the major schools of thought when it comes to psychology: structuralism, biophysical, trait, behaviorism, gestalt, humanistic, positive, and nakalagay lang yung headers, no? Walang definitions. Now, dito na nagkakaroon ng kaunting problema yung students who only rely on the slides. Kasi they would see the slide sa presentation, they forget na hindi pala dinefine ng maigi ng professor ang bawat isa sa mga ito. Tapos kapag lumabas siya sa quizzes, medyo wala tayong idea. Kasi ang ginawa lang ng ibang students, minemorize lang nila yung listahan. So, kahit verbally in-explain ng professor kung ano-ano ang mga ito, hindi na nila natatandaan. So, this is where your additional work interacting with the slides come in. Ma-append niya kasi yung part na yon. For example, if I am a student in this class, what I would do would be, I would add notes. And there's a function right here on the app for that. So, maglalagay lang ako ng note na icon right there. I'll tap it right here sa structuralism and functionalism. I would do my own research, okay, about that. So, kunyari, lalagay ko structuralism. And then, I would look for the definition. I would look for the theorists. Okay? And then, i-research ko yan, tapos ipapaste ko lang siya dito sa document na ito. Okay? Now, again, we will leave that for another day, but ang importante, that note is already right there. Hindi na siya mawawala dyan. Okay? Now, another thing that you can do would be to do it for everything that you see here. In this particular app, you can even change the color. So, kung gusto kong purple pa rin yung behaviorism, lalagay ko lang dyan. I would write my notes. So, kunyari, ilalagay ko research more. Research the definition. Okay? Or look for the definition. Yan. Tapos, save ko lang. So, again, nandyan na siya. And this is a note that I can actually edit at a later time. So, pwede ko tong dagdagan ng information. Okay? Kung kunwari, tumingin ako sa book, may Kaplan says something like that. And then, I can add to that. Keep adding to that. Okay? So again, pag nakakita kayo ng ganitong mga listahan, hindi enough na i-memorize yung header. Dig deep kayo. Okay? Para hindi kayo mabigla, lalo na sa dulo. Kapag may mga classes kayo na merong mga required readings, okay, that is also a clue into how your professor will start to quiz you pagdating sa exams. Hindi enough na i-memorize lang yun nandun sa lecture. You also have to pair yung readings with your slides. Okay? Now, here's another kumaga high-tech na option that you can make use of. I kind of wish na meron ng ganitong option when I was still in school. Pero hindi pa ganun katindi yung technology noon. And honestly, to think na you have this kind of technology in your phone is quite unheard of nung panahon na yon. Medyo nahahalata yung edad ko, no? But what you can do here, kasi this is a really interactive slide, questions lang siya. So, ang question ay, what makes a behavior abnormal and when can you consider a condition as a disorder? So, 2 questions right there. Now, when your teacher poses a question like this, usually, they would field yung class, no? So, magtatanong sila ng mga opinions ninyo or kung ano yung sagot according to the readings that they assigned. Pero at the end of it all, i-synthesize nila yan, pagsasama-samahin nila yung mga good things that you said, bad things that you said, and then they would actually present yung answer nila. Now, when that happens, one of the things that you could do would be to record that part ng lecture, okay? Kung nire-record nyo talaga yung lectures ninyo, that would be great. And what you could do right here sa app is to add an audio file. So, just tap yung T dito sa baba. Okay? And then you can tap yung speaker na icon. Tapos, you can tap dito, malapit dun sa question. Now, if you're doing this live, you can record the audio. Hi there. Hello, 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 hello. Pero if you have the file ready na, you can just attach the audio file doon just by clicking on the same or tapping on the same button. Okay? Now, that way, kapag nagre-review ka na, siguro weeks after this session, pwede mong balikan ng balikan yung sinabi ng inyong professor. Hello, 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 hello. Okay? So, again, that's another feature that you can maximize. Now, the second piece of advice is to connect the pieces. Para madaling tandaan itong video na ito, OPQR yung mnemonic device natin. So, the first one was build an outline, ngayon, PINA. So, you have to connect the pieces. Ang ibig sabihin nun, since itong slide na ito is a question and the answer to that or the following slides, you can actually use the function to insert links. For example, ang sabi dito, distress, and there is a slide right here, yung slide number 7, wherein yun ang pinag-uusapan. Kung gusto kong mas madaling ma-access yung information na yon kapag nagre-review na ako at a later day, what I need to do lang is to include a link here dun sa distress. So, I'll tap on the hyperlink na icon. Maglalagay lang ako ng box right there. Tapos, ilalagay ko lang yung box number 7. So, didelete ko yung 5, lalagyan ko ng 7. Done. And what will happen there is every time I tap on the part right there, it will bring me to slide number 7 kung nasa yung definition na yon. Okay? Maganda to and very helpful siya lalo na kung mahaba yung presentation para hindi nyo na kailangan iscan ng iscan hanggang mahilo kayo papunta dun sa susunod na page or sa susunod na part kung saan na-discuss yung topic na yon. Now, the next piece of advice na sasabihin ko sa inyo is to look for questions, okay? Ask questions dun sa diniscuss ng material and also list the questions that you feel would be helpful para sa susunod ninyong meeting with the professor or sa susunod na lecture. This is also very important lalo na kung graded ang classroom interaction or ang participation sa inyong mga classes. It's always great to have a baon na mga questions na interesting or that will lead into the next discussion. Your professors would appreciate that, lalo na kung talagang in love sila with the material that they're teaching. Kasi ang ibig sabihin lang nun is that you are really digesting yung pinresent nila doon sa previous na lecture. Okay? For example, we have a slide here on danger as one of the 4 Ds kapag dating sa disorder. And of course, we have yung icons na ginamit ng professor talking about this. So, meron ditong mga warning signs, merong person, merong other people, tapos merong mga gamit. Okay? Now, what you could do would be to just quickly write something that you feel would be interesting to talk about later. For example, if I want to ask next time kung what counts as dangerous behavior. Tapos, kung gusto ko na pumunta doon sa discussion ng kung gaano ka-valid yung threat, validity of the threat, And of course, kung meron ako mga napanood na mga movies or series, and this also happened in real life sa akin, di ba na merong mga laws when it comes to reporting? Reporting clients. Kung mayroon silang na-mention na they are into self-harm or they want to kill someone or they want to destroy something, like dito na papasok yung possible na question on, yan, tatanong na tayo on confidentiality, which I'm pretty sure your professor would appreciate kasi talagang importante yan sa ethics. Okay? So that could stream doon sa bagong branch ng discussion na pwede ninyong pag-isipan. Or, if you don't want to wait for your professor to answer those questions, pwede mo na rin gawin yung research. Kasi nga, again, you're really interactive with the material presented to you. Hindi lang yung minimemorize mo lang siya. Kasi I would say this, no, and this is me being very honest with you, there are a lot of psych graduates who can list the 4Ds but are still unable to explain or differentiate each of them. Bakit? Kasi tinandaan nila kung ano ibig sabihin ng 4Ds. So, deviance, distress, dysfunction, tsaka danger. Pero hindi nila alam kung yung pagkakaiba-iba noon. Kasi nga, again, ang minimorize lang is outline. Hindi nakipag-interact with the material. Okay? So, ayaw natin maging ganon. Now, my fourth tip is this. You have to find other resources. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin nun? When your professor mentions a movie na, kunwari, inaccurate yung presentation ng mga symptoms, or if nag-present sila ng idea na this person said this, okay, mas maganda if you really list down yung other resources na pwede mong i-check out after nung lecture na yon. Okay? So, what you could do would be to add links to different na mga videos, different na mga articles, mga journals, na mag-a-add ng more information sa topic na yon. For example, we have here a slide about differential diagnosis ng anxiety disorders. And if you look at the next slide, medyo marami yung nasa listahan. So, DSM-4TR tsaka DSM-5. Now, if there's something that interests you, something na you want to go into, kasi parang narinig ko na yun, pero hindi ko masyado alam ibig sabihin, this is where highlighting information can come in. So, you can just highlight the ones that you need to do further research on, and then balikan nyo siya. For example, if you notice, dito sa panel na ito, or sa slide na ito, may mga pagkakaiba yung DSM-4TR at DSM-5. So, that can again branch off to another discussion. Pero one thing that is quite obvious here is that iba yung social phobia sa social anxiety disorder. Now, if that triggers your interest, you can dive into that by looking at other resources. And again, the beauty of this app is that you can just link on that kapag nakakita kayo ng external links, like a YouTube video possibly explaining the difference between those two, and you can add them dito dun sa mismong discussion na ito. There is a function here. Okay, you can tap on the T and you can actually add a video. So, pwede akong mag-add right here. Magkakaroon ng icon dito. Yan. And then, I can choose a video na nag-exist. So, ayan, for example, kung meron na akong video discussing that, you can put a video right here. Tap on use and mai-insert siya doon. And after doing that, you can just tap on that part right there. Bubukas yung video na yon. Okay, again, this is just an example, but you can do that dun sa actual file once you have it. Okay? Now, after doing that, all you have to do is to save the file. Okay, so you can tap save right here, or you can also export the PDF, or you can export it as a different file like a Word document or even a PowerPoint presentation para bumalik siya sa dun sa dati niyang state. Pwede mo siyang i-export as a JPEG, and any other file that you would be more comfortable with. Okay? Now again, doon na papasok yung if your friend asks for your notes, okay, and you're interacting with your material, writing down yung notes or definitions by hand, pero you're not too eager to share the external links or resources na nakita mo kasi hindi mo pa siya na-field or you want them to make an effort to look for them themselves, pwede mo siyang i-save as a JPEG para hindi lang clickable yung mga links that you included, pero the rest of the material will also be there. Okay? So again, this is a really powerful tool if you are a student, if you're a teacher, if you're a learner, a dabbler like me, anyone who wants to interact with the test, you can anyone who wants to interact with the text, lalo na kung nasa PDF form siya, this is a great tool for that. Now, bakit ganon? Kasi, and this is one of the barriers na na-encounter ko when I was starting out sa paggagamit ng mga materials online. Kapag PDF kasi yung isang file, I find it so hard to interact with it kasi hindi mo siya pwedeng i-edit yung text, hindi ka pwedeng magdagdag ng inline na anything, hindi ka pwedeng mag-notate doon. In order for you to interact with it, minsan kailangan mo pa i-manually copy ang lahat ng text and then paste it to a different type of document, maybe a Word document, bago mo siya ma-edit. Pero this time, with the Foxit PDF Reader, you can do it right here on the app. And again, Foxit PDF Reader is giving you a free license code para ma-maximize ninyo lahat ng mga features na ito. I'm really grateful for them for enabling me to do this and for offering this to you guys. Again, for a full year, you have the full access nitong lahat ng mga features na ito. You can start asking for the notes from your teachers, from your friends who made the report, and then practicing using this. Okay? Having your own system sa pag-take down ng notes, even if may mga existing slides na, will actually help you long-term yan. Kahit sa professional career nyo na, kahit kapag nagpi-PhD kayo, nagma-masteral kayo, kasama pa rin itong skill na ito. So I really encourage you to start mastering it habang bata pa kayo. Okay? And I hope you learned something dito sa study hacks video natin for today. Again, if you're interested to reach out to me directly, get the reviewers that I made, join the online or library events, you can interact with me and the team sa www.facebook.com/Team Lyqa. And if you have any other requests na mapag-usapan natin next time, write a comment sa the comment section sa baba para maipila natin yan. Again, thank you sa Foxit PDF Reader for making this possible. And as we always say sa channel to, never stop learning. Adja, kaya niyan. I'll see you in my next video and bye for now.